Hey everybody, I want to share my opinion on the Kansept Knives Main Street. This is a Dirk Pinkerton design. That's his little logo right there. That's the name of the knife model, Main Street. And it is in 154 cm blade material, which is pretty great budget material. It sharpens up extremely well, at least in my practice with this blade material. I found that it does way better at a lower grit, between like 400 and 600, and then with a little bit of stropping with some leather. So that's how I've been maintaining this knife, and it's awesome. It just freaking blows through cardboard. And even though it does look like it's pretty beefy material, it does come down to a pretty thin edge, and it's like a giant freaking box cutter. It basically is. It has these, so on Blade HQ, they were called Tiffany blue handles. This is not Tiffany blue. And I know I'm definitely not colorblind. Regardless, it's still a pretty refreshing looking blue color. I like it. Nice access to the liner to disengage it. There are ball bearings in it, so this thing is just, it's just freaking loose. It's just thumb studs, but it opens up super easily. That's my fault. One little issue with it is when I first took it apart to do a little bit of maintenance on it, just cleaning it out, that's all I did. The pivot, it's actually free spinning. So you kind of need to have two bits to properly deal with this knife. You gotta have one on this side and one on that side, and you gotta crank down on them in the opposite direction to tighten it. So, if you crank down on it too much, the action isn't as great anymore, but it stays pretty centered for the most part. The only thing I noticed after I took it apart to do maintenance and made sure that it was perfectly centered is now there's actual side-to-side blade play, but it's not really a big deal. I know a lot of YouTubers are like, oh, it's a huge manufacturing flaw. But this knife is, what is this thing? $79.99, so an $80 knife. Yeah, I don't really think that's a huge deal, honestly. I think for what it is, it's still pretty sweet. Decent blade material, ball bearings, and it actually has this milled titanium pocket clip that goes in and out of the pocket extremely well. It does have this little line running down the center of it, which is a cool little design feature. It doesn't add anything, but it's more of a aesthetic visual thing. There are other models of the same exact knife, but with different handles that don't have this line running down. So it's a preference thing. Yeah, either you like it or you don't. It doesn't do anything for the knife, but it's just a visual thing. This is extremely comfy. It's just a super simple, straight design. It doesn't force your hand to be in any specific position. You can just squeeze the crap out of it, and you know, it's not gonna do anything to your hands. You don't feel the pocket clip, it's completely flat. You don't feel anything. There's this weird jimping down here. I don't really think it does anything. And also, where was it? Oh, also back here, in the back. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything. It wasn't really necessary to make, but it's just the design. That's all it is. I don't really think it adds anything ergonomically. I don't feel it, you know, like, I don't feel the meat of my hand pushing into it and making it feel more secure than it is. The G10 is very lightly textured. It's not rough. It's not going to chew up your pockets or anything like that. It's pretty great. pretty loud of a knife when it finally locks up. It's just a big freaking box cutter. That's all this is. This is more of a tool than anything. I know some people in the knife hobby, they have these super crazy fancy knives that are more of a work of art than anything, but this is just tool. This is literally just a giant freaking tool, and it's great. But it's definitely manufactured at a much higher quality than most actual tool brands that you would purchase from like Home Depot or Lowe's. It is an overseas brand. This is my only knife from this company, and I will most definitely be picking up more knives of this same brand Kansept, because I'm liking what I see. I'm liking what I feel and hear, and it performs really well. So check this guy out. Definitely on Blade HQ. I think a couple other retailers have it, but Blade HQ is my favorite to shop from. And yeah, it is a pretty crazy looking blade shape, but it just works so well. It's awesome. It's a little scary looking, honestly, but it just works. It just has to work. Just look at it. Thanks for watching, guys.